This GK David movie story is rated R. So all y'all, little badass, chillin' need to get somewhere.
See, Bill, and Chef, they slick, but this King Yamps, and I'm finna double down on all these
Who gon' get it done?
King Yamps threatened Chef and Bill Feezzyy. This a wild one, y'all, so go grab your drinks and your green and get lit as you laugh to this fire entertainment. The chow hall at Jimmy Autry State Prison in Mitchell County, Georgia, smelled like boiled mildew and institutional despair. It was a smell that clung to the cinder block walls, seeped into the white and blue uniforms of the 2,000 inmates housed there, and settled deep in the lungs. For most prisoners, the daily rotation of mystery meat, watery grits, and overcooked cabbage was just a fact of life. You ate to survive. You didn't eat to enjoy. But for the last 8 months, a select few had been eating like kings thanks to one inmate who created a major hustle behind the razor wire fences. They called him Chef. His real name was Marcus Vance, but inside the walls of the Georgia Department of Corrections, titles were earned, not given. Chef had earned his by running the most sophisticated high-end contraband food operation the prison had ever seen. While other niggas was selling bombs of loose cigarettes or sandwiches out the kitchen, Chef was smuggling in real free world food. His roommate Bill Feezzyy, universally known as C-Bill, was the architect of their last major triumph, an operation they codenamed PC. PC stood for pork chops. Through a complex network of inmates and a corrupt correctional officer, Chef had managed to get 80 pounds of bone-in seasoned pork chops into the dorm. Half grilled and half fried. The smell had driven the dorm crazy the day they arrived. It was the best meal anyone who ate pork had had in a long time. But the good times never last in prison. That same week, Chef's primary drop point may have been compromised when he misplaced a piece of paper with some important info on it concerning details of his operation. Nobody got arrested, but the channel was burned. Chef, a man who operated with the paranoia of a cartel boss/CIA agent, immediately shut the whole operation down. I'm not catching no fair time for some damn cheeseburgers and pork chops, Chef had told C-Bill. The drop is compromised. We lay low until the heat dies down. The inmates who filled their bellies on the free world food didn't care about Chef's risk assessment. They cared that the gourmet tap had been turned off. The whispers in the day room were turning into angry murmurs. The men were 38 hot that Chef stopped getting the food in because now they had to go back to eating honey buns and soups and that nasty-ass bullshit in the chow hall. Transfer day at Autry State Prison was always a chaotic spectacle. The white and red Bluebird buses would roll through the huge gates kicking up red Georgia dust, and the CERT team would hustle the fresh fish off the bus, clanking in the ankle and waist chains. Usually the new inmates were a mix of gang-related YNs and hardened vets getting transferred from one of the other chain gangs across the state. But when the doors of one of the buses opened, the entire intake line stopped. Out stepped a mountain of a man. He was nearly 500 pounds and stood around 6'2" or 3", his massive frame straining against the standard issue white and blue striped uniform, which had been specially tailored just to fit over his belly. Sweat beaded on his brown forehead, and he breathed with a heavy, wet rasp that echoed in the concrete intake room. This was infamous King Yamps, having been sent to Autry after being on PI at another camp.
Who gon' get it done, King Yamps? Who gon' get it done, King?
King Yamps wasn't known for his muscle, his street cred, or his fighting ability. He was known for his stomach and, more importantly, his food stamp hustle. Back in Fulton County, Yamps had discovered a loophole in the state's welfare system. By using a network of fake identities and compromised social security numbers, he had scammed the Fulton County Welfare Department into issuing him unlimited EBT cards. He funneled the benefits to his various baby mamas and cousins, who in turn bought him whatever he wanted on the outside. When he got locked up, he didn't lose his edge. He just adapted. He still had his family feeding his EBT accounts, and he used that digital wealth to buy favors, protection, and above all, food. "Move it in, mate," a burly CERT team officer with a freckled face barked, tapping his stun gun against his thigh. "Don't block the line." Yamps wiped his brow, offering a slow, deliberate smile.
I'm just checking things out, officer. This is my first time at this camp.
He was assigned to the same exact dorm as Bill and Chef were in. As Yamps waddled into the dorm, carrying his thin mattress and state-issued neck bags full of Zoom and Whams, the regulars watched him with a mix of awe and disgust. "Look at this fat-ass fuck nigga," whispered a skinny brown-skinned Crip named Headshot, leaning against the top rail. "He gonna need a forklift to get on the top bunk." Several inmates who knew the big man from other camps came up to help him. Yamps frowned, his jowls shaking.
Attention down. A nigga hungry from being on that transfer bus all day. Who the kitchen man is?
One of the inmates exchanged a look with another. "Well, there's a nigga in her goes by the name Chef, used to run a heavy food operation, smuggled in steak, seafood, all that. But he shut it down a couple weeks ago, said his drop point got hot." Yamps' eyes narrowed. "Shut it down? Why he do that? I don't care if it's hot. I want some real food." "It's not that simple, Yamps," the taller one said. "Chef is tight. He got 2 goons who watch his back, and his roommate Bill be helping him out too."
You said Bill? Bill in this dorm? That's my nigga that you used to live in Yampville.
Him and Chef sell up on the top range, 213. The shorter one pointed. "But Chef ain't taking orders from nobody. He say he laying low right now, bruh." Yamp slowly pushed himself up from the metal dorm picnic table. The sheer effort made him wheeze. "A fuck nigga gonna sell me some food or I'll double down on his ass." Because he wasn't running any food operation, Chef's 2 bodyguards weren't hovering around him when him and Feezzyy were sitting in their cell. The heavy thud of footsteps approached. Chef didn't look up as he was cleaning his icy white Reebok Classic tennis shoes. A massive shadow could be seen at the bottom gap in their cell door. King Yamp stood outside, breathing heavily. "Yo, Bill?" Yamp's voice boomed, echoing down the range. "It's the king. I just transferred from Telfair." Bill lowered a book he was reading called 50 Ways YNs Can Avoid Jail or Hell by G.K. David, available on Amazon, and smiled, sitting up in his top bunk.
"Oh shit, it's that boy Yamps. I ain't seen you in 2 years. What's up, folks?"
Yamps entered the cell, waddling through the doorway.
Can you please like and subscribe to the channel? I'll suck you.
A nigga hungry, Bill.
Yamp said, gripping his huge belly and rubbing it. His knuckles were thick and swollen.
"I hear you and your Buckman Chef got some free world shit going on. Pork chops. I love me some pork chops. Y'all niggas got some left?"
Chef looked up quickly, his eyes locked onto Yamps, assessing a threat. "Who's this big-ass nigga Bill? And who the hell told him my business?" "This King Yamps," Bill said smoothly. "We was at Smith State Prison." "What's going on, my nigga?" Yamps said, though his tone was anything but nice. "I hear you shut down the food operation you had going on. I need you to crank that shit back up. I want some pork chops, some hot wings, and some baby back ribs all at one time. Name your price." Chef immediately started shushing the big man as if he was his 6-year-old son talking too loud in church.
"Be no loose lips. No loose lips."
"You need to keep that down, big man, and my operation is shut down at the moment. Drop point is burned. I'm not risking my time for a plate of meat. Find something else to eat." Yamps' face darkened, the jovial facade dropped. You don't understand, little man. I don't ask for nothing twice. You're gonna start getting that free world food in here to me starting tomorrow. Chef stopped cleaning. He stood up slowly. He wasn't even half the size of Yamps, but he moved with a lethal coiled energy. I said no! He made a signal with his left hand as he looked at the doorway. 2 inmates emerged, Tank and Spider, Chef's bodyguards. Tank was a bald, tattooed giant about an inch taller than King Yamps, and Spider was wiry and shorter but fast, with dead eyes. They stepped in the cell, cracking their knuckles. You got a problem, Chef? Tank rumbled. We can handle it right now. Yamps took a step back, his chest heaving. He was big, but he wasn't stupid. He knew he couldn't fight 2 seasoned hitters in a small cell, but his pride was bruised. C-Bill stood up, stepping between Chef and Yamps. He put a hand on Chef's shoulder. Hold up, Chef. Let's not do this in our house, bruh. The officers will be down here soon for count. C-Bill looked at Yamps. Yamps, my man, you tired from the bus ride. You hungry, I get it. But Chef ain't playing. Let's cool off. We'll talk tomorrow. Yamps glared at Chef, his chest rising and falling. You making a mistake, Chef. You think you're the king of this dorm? There's a new king in town, and kings don't starve. Yamps turned and waddled away, Tank and Spider watching him until he was out of sight. Chef looked at C-Bill. You shouldn't have let him walk, Bill. He gonna be a problem. C-Bill sighed, rubbing his temples. I know, Chef, but if Tank and Spider jumped him right here, we'd be on lockdown. Yamps is loud, but he ain't stupid. He'll try to scheme his way around this. We just gotta be ready. King Yamps didn't sleep that night. He lay on his bunk, staring at the ceiling, his stomach growling for some real food like a caged animal. He wasn't used to being told no. In Fulton County, his EBT scam made him untouchable. He had money, and money bought loyalty. The next morning, Yamps began recruiting. He didn't use violence, he used economics. After inspection was over, he called his main baby mama, a woman named Keisha from Adamsville who managed his welfare accounts on the outside.
Keisha, listen, girl. I need you to send some of my benefits to a few niggas in here. Yeah, the EBT cards. Transfer funds to their family members' accounts. I'm gonna give you a list of names.
Yamps spent the next 3 days systematically buying the loyalty of the dorm's most volatile, hungry, and easily influenced inmates. He found the guys who had kids on the outside struggling to eat. He had Keisha load their family's EBT cards with an extra $200 a month. In exchange, those inmates owed Yamps. They were his muscle now. Within a week, Yamps had quietly assembled an army of 26 men. They weren't elite fighters, but there were 26 of them, and they were fiercely loyal to the man who was feeding their families. With his army secured, Yamps began the psychological warfare because he knew Chef was listening. After a yard call, in the day room, Yamps would sit with some of his army, loudly eating big pockets and drinking Bombays, talking big shit.
These fuck niggas, the biggest ding, bro.
Yamps would say loud enough for the whole dorm to hear. Some people in here think they too good to feed the hungry. Real kings share their wealth, but I guess some folks just selfish. They got the power to make life good, but they choose to let their brothers suffer. That's weak. That's some hoe shit. Chef would sit at a table with C-Bill, Tank, and Spider, his jaw clenched so tight his teeth ached. He just trying to bait you, Chef, C-Bill said quietly, not looking up from his dominoes game. Ignore him. He just talking, folks. Yeah, but that nigga talking about me, Chef said, his voice low. He's trying to turn the dorm against me. Let him try, Tank grunted. I'll break his fat ass jaw. No, Chef said. We don't make the first move. But if he crosses the line, we end it. The tension in the dorm was palpable. The air felt thick, like the moments before a thunderstorm. The other inmates, the ones who used to buy Chef's food, were caught in the middle. They hated that Chef shut down the operation, but they were terrified of Yamps' growing army. Yamps was pushing Chef, squeezing him, waiting for him to crack. He wanted the baby back ribs and the pork chops. He wanted the respect. and he was willing to crash out to get it. The breaking point came on a Saturday. It was free time, no inspection. Chef and C-Bill were in their cell, the door cracked open, just doing time. Tank and Spider were leaning on the rail outside the cell, keeping watch. Suddenly, the chatter in the dorm died. Tank looked up. Coming up the stairs to the top range was King Yamps, but he wasn't alone. Behind him, flanking him on both sides, was about 17 or 18 of his 26 steppers. They moved as a single massive block of humanity, filling the staircase, cutting off all exit. Tank and Spider stood up instantly, their hands dropping to their waistbands to clutch their thigh. Yamps stopped right in front of Chef's door. He was breathing hard, a sheen of sweat on his face. He looked at Chef's 2 bodyguards.
Don't make me double down on y'all fuck niggas and about no food.
The fat man said, his voice booming in the silent dorm. Tell y'all leader I want baby back ribs, smoked with the sweet sauce. Right before Big Tank was about to swing his machete at Yamps' face, Chef came out of his room and stopped him. We ain't finna crash out over no sweet meat, Tank. Chill out, he said, pushing Tank's hand with the knife in it downward. He looked at King Yamps. I told your ass no, big man. The drop is burned. I'm not doing it. You gonna get put on the dough, Yamps said. On his command, 5 of his men reached into their waistbands and pulled out bangers. Some were crude, ugly weapons, handles wrapped in electrical tape, blades made from sharpened metal and stolen plexiglass. The metal glinted under the dorm lights. Tank and Spider stood on guard. C-Bill eased past his bunkmate, his heart hammering against his ribs. The dorm was dead silent. There was no officer in the booth as usual. If a small war popped off right now, it would be a bloodbath.
Yamps, let me holler at you folks.
Feezzyy said, stepping to the front of Chef.
Think about what you doing, folks. You start a war in here, they gonna lock us all down. You won't get your ribs, and you'll be eating them nasty trays back there in the hole for probably 4 months.
I don't care about that C-Bill, Yamps roared. I want some ribs. Chef, you got 10 seconds to say yes, or my boy's gonna pull you out in this bitch. Chef didn't flinch. He gripped his own blicky.
Come and get it, fat boy.
The men tensed. Yamps raised his hand ready to give the order to charge.
Wait a minute.
C-Bill yelled, his mind racing. He looked at Yamps, then at Chef. He saw the economics of the situation. He saw the flaw in Yamps' logic.
Yamps, you not thinking, bruh? You got the EBT cards, right? You got unlimited food stamps.
Yamps paused, his hand still raised.
And Chef,
C-Bill turned to his bunkmate.
One of the reasons you shut down the operation was because buying the food with your own cash was cutting into your profits, right? I remember you complaining about that 100 pounds of shrimp you smuggled in for the seafood boils. You spent $3 grand on shrimp and only made 500 profit back because not everybody paid up.
Chef blinked, surprised by C-Bill's outburst, but he nodded slowly. Yeah, the margins are too tight. A lot of people don't have the funds to pay what the food is worth. C-Bill turned back to Yamps. Yamps, you don't need to fight Chef. You need to hire him. You got the food stamps. You can use your EBT to buy the food on the outside and Chef can get it in. Chef just needs to distribute it. You pay him in food stamps. He sells the food to you and your crew. Yamps lowered his hand slightly, his brow furrowing. No, C-Bill, I want him to crank the operation back up, but only me and my crew gets the orders. No one else. I'll even pay this nigga triple the amount of money he would make serving the whole dorm and compound like he was doing before. The dorm was dead silent. Even Tank and Spider lowered their shanks slightly, listening. Chef looked at the big man. Is that true? I was making over 4 grand from damn near every operation, so you pay me 12 racks worth of stamps. Hell yeah, them shits is free for me, Yamps said, staring at Chef. Chef looked at C-Bill, impressed by the quick thinking. He looked back at Yamps. Aight, my nigga, we got a deal.
But bet that. Now let's go in the room so we can handle this and get them ribs in here.
Yamps said, his eyes gleaming with the prospect of endless food. Chef looked at Tank and Spider. He looked at C-Bill. The math made sense. He wouldn't have to risk his own capital. Yamps was absorbing all the financial risk, and double the profit? That was enough to stack 100 bands in 5 years. Yamps followed Chef in the cell, waving off his goons. C-Bill let out a breath he didn't know he was holding. As he leaned against the rail watching Yamps' army trail each other down the stairs to the big floor where a dozen other inmates had mean mugs on their faces at the deal they had just heard, where Yamps would now be Chef's only customer. The dorm erupted into whispers. These inmates had been starving for Chef's food and now were angry with pure hatred. Chef had sold out. He had given the monopoly to the biggest, greediest shark in the chain gang.
Who gon' get it done, King? Yeah. Who gon' get it done, King? Who gon' get it done, King? Yeah. Who gon' get it done, King? It's a Yamps, Yamps, a Yamps, Yamps. It's a Yamps, Yamps, Yamps. It's a Yamps, Yamps, a Yamps, Yamps. It's a Yamps. Everybody wanna eat. King Yamps, King Yamps. Whole block know the name. EBT legend, yeah, he play the welfare game. King Yamps, every meal looking like a feast. Got the whole dorm eating while the child stay weak. King Yamps, everybody wanna eat. King Yamps, everybody wanna eat. Rolled in the dorm, whole flow got quiet. Big body boss, had the commissary right. Talk cheap, but a full tray started alliance. Buy a couple favor, now the whole pie stay silent. Pocket full of numbers, every hustle calculated. Always got a crowd, cause the snacks stay weighted. Cookies, noodles, honey bun stacked to the ceiling. People switch sides when they stomach start feeling. Every card game, every day, every plate. Everybody knew Yamps could manipulate. Never threw a punch, let the food do the pressure. Influence cause less when the rhyme come together. Thought he wore a crown cause his pockets stayed loaded. Every move he made had another angle coded. King Yamps, whole block know the name. EBT legend, yeah, he played the welfare game. King Yamps, every meal looking like a feast. Got the whole dorm eating while the child stay weak. King Yamps, everybody wanna eat. King Yamps, everybody wanna eat. Everybody wanna eat. Everybody wanna claim. Everybody wanna eat. Built an empire in a cell. One meal at a time. King Yamps, whole block know the name.